All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Breckenridge Brewery, and they're out of Littleton, Colorado, and this is their Nitro Irish Stout. So this is an Irish Dry Stout in a Nitro can. It comes in at 4.8% alcohol by volume, 38 IBUs at the time of review. I don't know exactly how old this can is, but it does have a best enjoyed by date of April 12th of 2023, and we're about just under 6 weeks away from that date, so we should be fine. Now, it's that time of year, St. Patrick's Day coming up, and for St. Patty's Day, a lot of breweries will release Irish-themed beers or Irish-styled beers, and Breckenridge did that with this Nitro Irish Stout. So this is probably supposed to be in the vein of Guinness to some degree, but their take on it. And yeah, it just says smooth, cascading dry stout brewed with roasted Irish malts, and it does have the Nitro can. Now, this is a bit less than a Nitro Guinness draft. I think their cans are 14.9 fluid ounces. This is 13.6 fluid ounces. So we'll see. Guinness has the whole widget and it's trademarked and everything. So we'll see what happens here when we crack it open. Is it going to have the same noise and everything? Something different? I don't know. I'm going to try to pour it as quick as I possibly can into the New Belgium glass. I will say that I don't have a Guinness glass. I used to have two of them. They broke over the years. I first bought them maybe like 10 years ago, maybe like 12 years ago. So I'm gonna be reviewing Guinness on St. Patrick's Day and Murphy's Irish Stout. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that in a Guinness glass or not. If so, that's awesome if I could find some in the meantime and buy them, or we'll just do what the Beer Patrol always does and mess up the channel by not reviewing it in a proper glass, but it's whatever, as long as it's in glass. So yeah, that poured out. The cascading wasn't as cool as a Guinness, but it definitely cascaded to some degree. It has that, dark, almost pitch black look. On camera, so pitch black. In person, more of like a deep dark brown. Has just over a finger of a super creamy tan colored head. It's the Nitro head. It looks absolutely beautiful in the New Belgium glass. We're just messing it up. It's not even the correct Colorado brewery, but that's what we do here. Anyway, let's get those. Yeah, so that's nice. It has baker's chocolate. There's a little bit of nice roasted malt, touch of coffee, a bit of like an earthy hop kind of characteristic, maybe a slight fruitiness, like a dark stone fruit, but very slight. Yeah, I mean, if I was smelling this blind, I'd say, yeah, that's a Guinness or something in that realm. I wouldn't say maybe exactly Guinness, but I'd be like, yeah, that's like a low ABV stout, and I would think it's maybe a dry Irish stout or an Irish dry stout. Just because, again, it has that baker's chocolate, roasted malt kind of character with a little bit of coffee roast, not overly sweet, not too much going on. Yeah, it smells really good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. So this definitely reminds me of Guinness just from the fact that it's in a Nitro can, right? Guinness, everybody, that's never had Guinness, or maybe people who just drink like lower ABV lagers, they will have a Guinness and they will be like, oh, that's super thick and just viscous. And the thing about Guinness I've always found, and same thing with just this style in general, especially in a Nitro can, it's not thick at all. It's more thin. This is like higher side of light, lower side of medium body, but it's smooth and creamy because of the actual Nitro and the effect it plays. So it has more of that smooth creaminess. And I mean, you can just tell by looking at it. It looks fantastic, right? And you get that on the palate. And a lot of times, because of the Nitro effect, and also that these aren't as carbonated typically as carbonated as a regular beer, they sometimes come off as flat to folks who aren't used to drinking a Nitro beer. But I think, to me, with these styles, that enhances the drinkability because it's so smooth and creamy and just like glides down the palate. It's great. So the body, yeah, it's a bit thin, but it's also not even 5%. It's kind of in that realm for a lower ABV Irish Dry Stout. And then the mouthfeel, it's smooth and creamy. It's exactly what it should be. The taste, the nose carried over, and it's roasted malt, the forefront. First thing that I notice is roasted malt. That kind of carries on through. You get baker's chocolate, a dark, cacao bar, something in that realm, maybe like a 50, 60, 70% cacao bar. It's a little bit of a coffee roast. There's a kiss, a small kiss or smidge of a dark fruit midway through the palate. Maybe slight underlying caramel and like toffee characteristics, but again, those are very minute. And then on the back of the palate, I get this nice earthy, almost, I'd say it's an earthy, almost grassy kind of finish. It's more earthy than anything. This finish is semi to full on dry, a very mild bitterness. This is more dry than bitter, but this isn't a super bitter beer to begin with. It's more like a mild, maybe between mild and moderately bitter. But it works for what this beer is supposed to be. It's not overly sweet because it's only 4.8%. It's not crazy sweet or anything. It's just, it's balanced to some degree. It might lean a little bit sweeter, but I think it's pretty well done in general. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do this one before Guinness, just because there's going to be quite a few I'm going to be reviewing this month, and I wanted to do a couple before Guinness, because Guinness is like the gold standard when it comes to Nitro Irish Dry Stouts. Like it is what it is, right? It's from a bigger brewery, but Guinness is a solid damn. I enjoy Guinness, and I know a lot of folks do. Some folks don't. Typically for me, Guinness is like a 3.75 to 4, depending on how I'm enjoying it. And I honestly think this is in the same realm rating-wise. It's 4.8%. You really can't tell. Again, the body and mouthfeel are very reminiscent of Guinness to my palate right now. Although it's been a while since I've had a Guinness. It's been a couple years. When I do review it, I'll see if I'll try to harken back to this review and be like, oh, was it similar? Because I think it is. Anyway, so Nitro Irish Stout from Breckenridge. I have absolutely no issue in giving this one. I'm going to give this a high 3.75. I'm going to go we'll go 3.8 out of 5. I think that's fair for this beer. I mean, it is what it is. They're trying to replicate Guinness to some degree, or in that realm, maybe not exact representation of what Guinness is, but their take on a Nitro Irish Stout. And I think they did a pretty damn good job with it. Price point availability, I really don't know, because I got this at a mix 6 pack at my local Wegmans grocery store. Is $12.99 for 6 beers. I tried to look online to see if I could see, what price range for this. I did see 12 packs at a couple different places around $18, $19. So if there's 12 packs of this for 18 to 19 bucks, that's a pretty good deal in my opinion. Guinness in my neck of the woods for 4 cans is typically $8.99. If you triple that, you're talking a lot more than what this would go for. I don't know if Guinness comes in bigger packs. It probably does. I haven't seen them. It's usually just the 4 packs. And availability is Breckenridge. Wherever you see Breckenridge, you probably should see this one. And it should be on display or somewhere prominent when you go to your beer store, considering, again, St. Patrick's Day is upcoming. So yeah, at the end of the day, this is a pretty good beer, 3.8 out of 5. Nothing amazing, but if you like Guinness and you see this and the price point isn't crazy and you're kind of interested in trying it, give it a go. See what you think about it. I should have actually grabbed a can of Guinness and compared it to, I did buy a 4-pack, but I don't want to drink that much beer today and I don't want to waste any. So anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. Again, it's not a mind-blowing beer, but for me, Guinness is also not mind-blowing. Maybe back in the day it used to be. I think this is just a good, solid Nitro Irish Dry Stout. Nothing more, nothing less. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.